quote about Taoism from Lao Tzu that will really guide us through this practice. The point of this practice is to go really slow, to come into poses, to feel them, to exist in them, not to resist them, right? And here's the quote. So find a nice comfortable seat, sit up nice and tall. You can close your eyes. And it says, accept what is in front of you without wanting the situation to be other than it is. Study the natural order of things and work with it rather than against it. For to try to change what is only sets up resistance. Nature provides everything without requiring payment or thanks, and provides for all without discrimination. And therefore, let us present the same face to everyone and treat all as equals, however they may behave. If we watch carefully, we will see that work continues more easily and more quickly if we stop trying, if we stop putting in so much extra effort, if we stop looking for results. In the clarity of a still and open mind, your truth will be reflected. Keep your eyes closed and let's just sit totally silent, totally still, and let those words land. Let those words get absorbed by all of our being. 1 minute here. And now bring your hands together at your heart center. Bow your head into your hands and set an intention to let go of resistance, to surrender, to surrender. Take a deep breath in, open your mouth wide, and exhale. Lower your hands onto your lap, tuck your chin in towards your chest, and ever so slowly just begin to roll one ear over to its same shoulder. So right ear, right shoulder, left ear, left shoulder. From there, drop your chin back through center and roll the opposite ear over to the opposite shoulder. Maybe you keep doing this little half circular movement, but if it feels okay and your back and neck feels supported, you could go and allow your head to float all the way around. One great big circle in one direction, followed by a slow transition to circle in the opposite direction. When you come up to neutral, lift your shoulders to your ears, roll your shoulders around. Roll your shoulders 3 times in one direction and 3 times in the opposite direction. Good. Take your right hand onto the floor, stretch your left arm up and over, turn your gaze down. We'll start here with this big side body stretch as a little bit of insight into the direction our practice will take. Inhale, come back up through center and rotate to the opposite direction. Breathe here, feeling the sensations along the lateral line of your body. And now lift back up right, both arms come up, rotate your torso towards the right, Take your right hand back behind you. Your left hand comes to your right thigh. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, look back behind you. Good. Inhale, both arms reach up overhead, fingers are spread wide. Exhale, rotate in the opposite direction. Inhale when you get there. Exhale, look back behind you. Inhale, reach both arms up overhead. And exhale, take your hands to your thighs. It might help to send your feet just a little further forward, so a bit of a wider Sukhasana. And now start to roll and rotate your torso like you're stirring a great big pot of stew with your body. Just move the torso around. Notice the places where there's a resistance to more fluid dynamic movement. Switch directions, please. Good. Pull it all back up through center. Take your legs out to either side and come on to all fours. You can stack some props under your knees if that's helpful for you. Spread your fingers wide. Stack your shoulders above your wrists. Inhale, drop your belly, loop your shoulders back, lift your heart, your chest, and your gaze. Exhale, puff between your shoulder blades, round into your spine. Inhale, lowering your tummy down as you lift your gaze up. Exhale, find that flexion, that big rounding action in your back. One more time. Inhale, dumping your belly down, lifting your heart up. Exhale to round. Inhale through neutral. Pause here. Turn your gaze over your right shoulder and try to move your right hip towards your right shoulder, shearing or creating tension along the left side of your body. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, round into your upper back. So you have that really rounded cat spine. As you shift to the other side, move your left shoulder towards your left hip and your left hip towards your left shoulder. Now the right side of your body is getting stretched. Inhale back through center, round into your spine. Bring your big toes to touch and lower your hips down to your heels. Keep your left hand rooted on the floor. Inhale, stretch your right arm high. Exhale, scoop your right arm under. If you have some kind of prop, you could place your ear on that prop, or maybe your ear comes right to the floor. And either keep your left hand up overhead or walk your left fingers to the right long edge of your mat, or bend your left elbow and flatten that left elbow on the floor just above your head. You're in a twisted child's pose. You could keep your right cheek on the floor or your forehead down on the earth. Breathe here. Feel the body softening and consciously decide to go a little deeper into that softening. No rush, no hurry. Gradually, you'll imprint your left hand into the floor, unwrap your right arm, send your right arm up. There might be little movements that feel nice here. You can take those. Place your right hand on the floor. Inhale your left arm high and exhale, scoop your left arm under your right arm. Lower your left ear to a prop or the floor. And then decide, do you stretch your right hand forward, maybe cross it over to the left side, or relax at the elbow, bend the elbow so that the forearm of your right hand is just above your head. And you know there's some time here, so now you just get to rest. Feel your body softening. Notice the parts of your mind and your body that are resisting that softening. Let go. Let yourself fall and slip into this stretch. Now your right hand realigns just above its shoulder. Unwrap your left arm. Do whatever movements feel nice there. And peel your body back up onto all fours. Spread your fingers nice and wide, puff into those shoulder blades, flex your feet, lift up high into a downward dog. Time is the essence of Hatha. I used to have a student at Y Yoga at Harborfront who told me she was in her 70s, and she told me when she was in her early 20s, she went to Hatha yoga classes by the Harborfront Center or some iteration of whatever was there at the time. And Hatha back then was just holding big shapes like this for 10, 15, even 20 breaths. There was this fusion of what we now call yin and hatha. And today we're going to embrace that really slow, long held approach to yoga. Because that's the difference between yoga and your personal training or your other forms of fitness, is that over time in these shapes, we're faced with more spiritual questions, right? What do we do when something feels uncomfortable? How do we react or not? Take a deep breath in, exhale. Inhale, walk your feet all the way forward to the top of your mat. Press your hands into your shins to lift up out of your spine. Now, as you exhale, fold, bend your knees, and maybe take hold of opposite elbows. And you could stay totally still or start to move, just really slowly draping your weight left to right. Knees can be extended or bent. Let your head hang heavy. 5 more breaths here. At the end of your fifth exhale, lower your fingers to the floor and lift yourself up halfway again. Notice the shift in blood pressure. Press your hands onto your thighs. Walk yourself up nice and slow. And when you get there, pause in Tadasana. Some time here too. Pause in Tadasana, standing nice and tall. Soften your gaze, soften your breath, and just notice. Notice how your body feels with even a few minutes of movement, of mindful movement. Blink, open your eyes. Take your left hand and place your left hand across your skull onto your right ear. Start to draw your right or your left ear in towards its shoulder. And if that hurts your neck, you can draw your chin in. You might feel the stretch in a different place in the back of your neck. Notice if you're really pushing your pelvic forward, can you draw your tailbone down so your back doesn't hurt when you're just trying to stretch your neck? Now, maybe you walk those opposite fingers away or reach for the floor. Take 3 more breaths here. Good. Release that hand down. Pour the weight of your head forward. Roll your head over to the other side and try that on the other side. Your left hand is really reaching down towards the floor so you can feel the scalene muscles of your neck working. And your right hand is gently tugging or inviting, might be a better word, inviting your head to move down and occupy that space of stretch. Breathe here. 3 breaths. Roll your chin down through to your chest. When it gets there, hug your shoulders in towards your ears, lift up your gaze, just like you did in seated. Take three big shoulder rolls, three big shoulder rolls in each direction, working out all that tension that gets created through repetitive movement or a sedentary lifestyle, right? Good. And now take your arms, reach your left arm up, scoop your right hand down, and reach over into a great big C shape. You're creating like a boomerang shape with your body. Look down, but pull your pubic bone forward, roll towards the earth so you feel that stretch along your side body. Remember, this is our target area today. Take a big breath in. And exhale, pull through center. Stand in neutral. Stand in neutral. Breathe in. Breathe out. The other side. Notice if you're feeling back pain. And if that's the case, I'd like you to really plug your pubic bone forward, hug your bum cheeks together so your lower back is nice and supported. You're just creating a big C shape in your body. And release that pose. Come back through center. Take your hands to your lower back so your fingers are draping down towards your bum. Place your feet flat on the floor. Loop both shoulder blades back. Lift through your chest like you're being pulled by a puppeteer's string, and that string is latching on right at your heart center. Shoulder blades are plugging together. Your quads are strong. Your glutes are strong. Your heart is lifted. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, opening and awakening through your chest, and breathe out. Slowly realign your body over its feet. Interlace your hands behind your back if you can. If not, just reach them back towards one another. Hinge at your feet and begin to fold forward. Again, your knees can stay bent or they can extend. And here your hands might stay gripped towards your lower back, or perhaps they float up overhead. Three breaths, inverting the body, inverting the mind, inverting the spirit, recycling the flow of energy through your whole system. Carefully release your hands back down to your thighs and rise up just halfway into a make believe chair. When you get there, project your hands out in front, your palms face one another, and imagine that you're blowing yourself up like a balloon. So start to take up a little more space. Your tailbone rolls down, your belly plugs in. There's absolute muscular work here. And this is where the real yoga starts, right? Notice your reactions. Notice your craving or your aversions to the sensations you feel, to the speed of the practice, the sound of my voice. Notice your reactions. Don't grip onto them. Don't push them away, but witness them. Three more breaths here in as deep of a chair pose as your body's willing to go today. And now push firm through your feet. Rise all the way up, reach your arms up before you lower your hands together at heart center. Keep your hands here at heart center. Spread your toes nice and wide. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise up onto the balls of your feet. Feel the activation through your calves, the hugging up through your heels, and perhaps bend into your knees. So now you're in chair pose again, but with your heels working and your ankles are forced to do a lot more muscular work. If you wiggle and wobble, that's normal. Just pull it back to center. Push into your heels, straighten your legs, find mountain pose. And rather than rushing through this pose, and even as a teacher, I do this, I always rush through this pose. Can you be here firming the four corners of your feet into the earth, stabilizing your hips above your ankles, your shoulders above your hips, lifting your heart and your chest and your gaze high, imagining yourself strong and fierce, impossible to defeat, just like a great big mountain. From mountain pose, take a giant step back with your right leg and turn your right toes to face the right long edge of your mat as you bend into your left knee. Open your arms wide. Your palms could be face up or face down, but notice if that front arm is or back arm is falling towards the floor. And now sink deep into your front knee as you lift up all 10 toes and root down through the four corners of your feet. Connect to more than the physical in this practice. The practice that has aged 5,000 years, been created and recreated a million times by many different people with many different intentions. Can you connect deeply to the spirit in this yoga practice and whatever that means for you? 5 more breaths, still, steady breath. Extend your front leg, relax your arms. Turn your front toes to face forward and turn your back toes to face in front. So you're just switching sides, coming right back into warrior two now on the opposite side. This time I'd like you to focus on stabilizing the muscles of your legs. So really squeeze the muscles of your legs in towards their bones and hug everything in, like you're trying to scrunch up your yoga mat right beneath your body. Turn your gaze over your front middle fingers, root down through the outside edge of your back foot, and breathe here for just a titch longer than you might want to. Can you embody the spirit of yoga as you bypass that place of resistance? Force your front foot down into the floor, extend that leg, relax your arms, and now turn both toes to face forward. If you need to heel toe them in slightly, that's okay. Connect your hands to your hips, loop your shoulders back, engage your legs. Inhale, look up. And as you exhale, fold forward, lower your hands down beneath your shoulders. Inhale, elongate your spine. Exhale, let your weight fall towards the balls of your feet as you walk your hands back by any amount. The entire time, your skull, this heavy, heavy structure, is hanging upside down. Push into your feet, draw your kneecaps up, pull your shoulders back, let your skull hang down. Breathe here. Please walk your hands back beneath your shoulders. Gentle bend in your knees simply to bring your hands up your thighs and return to standing. Good. Keep your legs separate. Take one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Breathe here. Feel that transition from upside down and inside out to your regular standing pattern. And now turn your right toes to face the long edge of your mat and turn your left toes to face forward. Bend into your left knee just as before. So you'll come right back into warrior two, but this time also bend into your left elbow. Lean your weight onto that left leg and stretch your right arm up alongside your right ear. Open your left palm and your right palm. So both palms are really strong and active. Sink deep into the front foot and now squeeze your leg muscles towards one another. Squeeze your bum muscles towards one another. Draw your right ribs up and back. Breathe space into your heart because things get really compressed and crunchy here. And hold, pause, be in this space for 5 more breaths. Feel the connection of your feet in the earth. Press down even further, like you're trying to break through the earth's core to lift up. Rotate your left toes forward, turn your right toes out, bend deep into your front right knee, and find that stretch on the opposite side. Extended side angle pose is a huge lateral stretch for your body. Can you imagine that from the outside edge of your back foot all the way out through your fingertips, there's one long line of fascia or connective tissue that's holding your body in its shape? And anywhere along that line, you might find a knot or a block will impact the entire space. So let's undo and unravel all those knots today. All your fingers are flexed and active. You're rooting through the four corners of both feet. Can you lift up through your inner line of your feet? Lift up through your foot arches. And now press down through the soles of your feet and rise everything back up. Turn both toes to face forward again. This time, interlace your hands behind your back. You can readjust the distance between your feet. With your hands interlaced, and you can use a strap or a sweater, anything you have nearby. Plug your shoulder blades together, lift your heart, lift your chest, look up, and exhale, hinge and fold forward, let it go. Release your spine, release your shoulders, release your head, release your thinking mind. All those distractions get dumped right out. Bring your hands back to your lower back. Walk your hands onto your thighs. You can bend your knees here. Slowly rise back up. Place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. Breathe. What does it feel like to go slow in standing poses? What are your resistances? Turn your left toes again to face out front. Keep your right foot as is. Inhale, open your arms wide. Exhale, reach your left fingers forward and lower your left hand down to your shin as your right arm stretches up. Here we find traditional Trikonasana triangle pose, the most potent lateral side body stretch. And if you don't feel the work on the right side of your body, could you squeeze your bum cheeks together? And it almost feels like you're drawing your left hip under and pushing it forward at the same time. Maybe there's a bit of a drawing up of your pubic bone. It doesn't matter if your gaze is up or down. It doesn't even matter if your hand is up or down. The work really lands along this side body. Could you push firm, firm, firm into the soles of your feet? Lift up through your inner arches. Your legs are now active, and then pull yourself back up. Turn your toes forward and try that shape on the other side. Less instruction, wander in at your own pace and breathe here. Nice long hold in Trikonasana. Good. Lift yourself back up again. Turn both toes to face forward. This time, heel toe your feet in so they're just beyond hip distance apart. Bend into your knees, open your arms wide, and find a squat. This is called a goddess pose. Your pubic bone is lifting, tailbone rooting down, fingers spread wide. Observe your reactions to the sound of the descriptor of the shape, to the look of the shape, to the feeling you're having in the shape, and to the recognition or the witnessing of your reactions. Even notice that. Breathe here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rise all the way back up. Release your hands. Turn your left toes to face forward, but walk that left foot over towards the left side of your yoga mat and bring your right foot forward. So your feet are, in fact, almost mat distance apart and just maybe 1 or 2 feet apart vertically. If I were to put little headlights on your ASIS, those frontal hip bones, it would shine right out in front of you so your pelvis is square. And you could keep your left leg bent or straighten it. Take your right hand forward now, like you're about to go and shake someone's hand. A lean forward. Inhale here. As you exhale, your left ribs are plugging up as your right hand lowers down towards your prop or the floor on the outer edge of your left foot. Remember, you can totally bend your left knee here. Your left hand, meanwhile, can plug into your sacrum or into your left hip crease as you start to breathe length through your spine. So that puppeteer is now pulling the crown of your head forward while drawing your left hip back and internally rotating your right thigh. Maybe your left hand even soars up towards the sky. Breathe here for 3 more breaths. If you feel pain in your knee joint, please bend your knee. Lower your left hand down. Walk your hands all the way around, all the way around. Move your feet with you. Keep walking, keep walking. Could you walk yourself into this shape on the other side? So now you're folding forward. Your right leg is forward, your left leg is back, your right hip drives back, and you'll walk your left hand to the outside of your right foot or maybe to your prop. Your right hand can draw your right hip back as your right ribs lift, or maybe your right hand comes up. I'm lucky. I have a perfectly angled wall here, so I can actually plug my right fingers right into the wall. And that's a nice way to support this pose if you can do it against a wall sometime. You're shearing or tension building in your hamstring along the back line of your legs and torquing or creating torsion in your spine. So you're spiraling your spine. Take 1 more breath here. And exhale. Release that right hand down. Walk both hands forward again. Turn both feet to face the long edge of your yoga mat and climb up your legs to mountain pose. Reclaim mountain pose like it's the most important shape you'll take. 5 breaths here. As you blink open your eyes, let the weight of your body fall into your right foot. Bend into your left knee and place that left foot somewhere along your standing leg for tree pose. Connect your hands at heart center. Lift your chest into your hands. Breathe here, simple, steady, and strong like a tree. And draw your bent knee forward, lower that foot onto the floor, mountain pose in stillness. Just feel. Sink the sole of your left foot into the floor, bend into your right knee, hug that foot into your thigh, connect your hands at your heart. Can you find solstice in the simplicity of these shapes, in the commitment to these shapes? Breathe here. And gently release, find mountain pose again. Your eyes are closed. Blink open your eyes and come to sit on your knees. Take a prop underneath your knees if you have something cushiony nearby. Even I'm just using a throw pillow from my bed. Bring your hands onto your hips and take a giant step to the right with your right foot. Big step to the right with your right foot. Your right foot is connected, grounded onto the floor. And then take your right hand down your right thigh, lift your left arm up and over, take a big side body stretch to the right. Breathe here. And as you breathe here, push the sole of your right foot down and press your pubic bone forward. Pubic bone forward, so you'll feel this from maybe even the quad all the way up through the side of your body. Stay here, breathe here. I'll just show you a different angle for this pose. And now lift your arms up and take your left arm down to the floor. Reach your right arm up and over. You could stay here, or maybe you even lift up that leg. So you either get that big lateral stretch or you start to integrate a little more core work if you lift up the leg. 5 breaths here. Push your pubic bone forward, fire up your glutes. Draw your hips down towards your heels. Take that right arm out to the side. Place your right hand down on the floor, your right knee down on the floor. Stretch your left leg out and rise up to stand. So this is called gate pose. We'll do this on the other side. Take that same hand on the same side as your extended leg, drive it down the thigh, down the calf, wherever it wants to end up. Or reach your top arm up and over. And turn your gaze down, push your pubic bone forward, pull your bum cheeks in, breathe here, side body opening, waking up. Gradually come all the way up through center, place that right hand on the floor. Start to reach your left arm up and over. This is a great place to stay, and I promise it will feel better if you push your pubic bone forward, squeezing your glutes in. Maybe you opt to lift up that back leg. You can take lots of variations here. You're just feeling your body. And now bend into your left knee, lower that left hand down so you're really sweeping and scooping across. Rotate yourself all the way around until you're facing forward on your yoga mat. Bring your left knee towards your left wrist, and option A, stretch your right leg all the way back for pigeon pose. Option B, bend into your right knee and bring that right thigh towards your left foot for deer variation. And today, instead of going right down forward in front of your chest, in either variation, could you walk your arms over towards the left Lower down either to props or maybe hold up on your arms and breathe here. Your torso is crushing into your left thigh. You're rolling your body down to the left. A few breaths here. Good. Now slowly walk your body over towards the right. Maybe it's a big, big movement. Maybe it's just a few handprints in the opposite direction, and then fall down to a resting place. 5 breaths. Good. Press your hands into the floor. Lift yourself up carefully and slowly. Lift up your right leg as well and place your right foot to the outside of your left thigh. Drop your right hip down and walk your right hand behind you. Inhale, stretch your left arm up, graceful like a ballerina. And exhale, place your left elbow across your right thigh. A nice deep spinal twist meets you here. 5 breaths. Unwrap your whole body over in the opposite direction, a counter twist. Now pull through neutral, lift up your right leg and stretch your right leg out on a deep V angle. Your left foot now plugs into your inner right thigh. Reach your right fingers to your shin, your calf, maybe your peace fingers wrap around your big toes. And here we are yet again, a huge side body stretch. Lift your left arm up and over. You could even place your head on your right hand as you work through that lateral tissue. This is your liver and your gallbladder energy lines that we're starting to clear and purify. Breathe here. Lower first your left hand. Now lift up your torso. Take your soles of your feet together. Both feet come together. Wrap your hands around your ankles. Inhale, rise your heart. Exhale, hinge forward. Let it go. Inhale, lift back up. Letting spirit move your body as you move through these slower shapes. On the other side, your right knee comes forward, your left leg shoots back into pigeon pose or deer pose, where your left thigh just grazes the sole of your right foot. And just like before, let's start rotated. We'll start over to the right this time. So walk your hands over towards the right. Come as low or as high as you'd like. 5 breaths here. Really good. Gracefully meander your body over to the other direction. 5 breaths there. Pull your body up and away from the floor. Lean your weight onto your right hip. Take your left leg all the way around. Now your left foot stamps on the outside of your right thigh. Walk your left hand behind you. Reach your right arm up. A big spinal rotation is here. Dive in, breathe. Unravel that coiled spine. Walk your hands to the other direction. And now pick up your left leg on the way back to center. Stretch it out on a big, deep V. Your right foot plugs into that leg and reach your left fingers to your shin or the floor. Maybe your left fingers grab your left toe. Reach your right arm up and over. You could take your right hand to the back of your head. It could just dangle in space. And there's 5 breaths here. Shearing and liquefying, moving and stretching all the stuff under your skin along that right thigh body. Inhale, let it go. Rise back up. Take your hands back behind you. Plant your feet on the floor and flop your knees from left to right. Slowly lower all the way down onto your back. Come flat onto your back and take a happy baby pose. Happy baby pose. Catching the outside edges of your feet. Rock your body side to side. Maybe you even pull the soles of your feet together. Interlace your hands behind your feet so it's like butterfly or Baddha Konasana. Just keep rocking, massaging out your tender spine. And now place your feet on the floor. Option A, drop your knees to the right, open your arms wide, a traditional reclining twist. Option B, take the peace fingers of your right hand, catch your left big toe, and kick your heel away as you turn the gaze in the opposite direction and lower your left shoulder to the floor. You'll feel that whole left hip light up. Choose one of these variations, 5 breaths. Crawl your body back through center. Shift your hips now to the right. Settle your knees down to the left. Both shoulders inching towards the floor, and perhaps you extend your right leg and catch your big toe with your peace fingers of your left hand. The option is always to turn the gaze, but you don't have to. And then we just breathe. Finally, release your legs, retreat back through center, make any final movements, adjustments, or even preparations before settling your whole body flat onto the earth in Shavasana, corpse pose. When you get here, close your eyes, soften your jaw, take a deep breath in, and exhale. Accept what is in front of you without wanting the situation to be other than it is. Study the natural order of things and work with it rather than against it, for to try to change what is only sets up resistance. Nature provides everything without requiring payment or thanks, and provides for all without discrimination. Therefore, let us present the same face to everyone and treat all as equals, however they may behave. If we watch carefully, we will see that work continues more quickly and easily if we stop trying, if we stop putting in so much extra effort, if we stop looking for results. In the clarity of a still and open mind, your truth will be reflected. Without much fuss, could you simply find your way back to a comfortable cross legged seat for 2 minutes of silent seated meditation? Please bring your hands to your heart center. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide. Exhale with a sigh. Bow your head into your hands. Thank you for practicing. Keep practicing. Namaste.